Yeah, yeah, Brooklyn ends. We back with another one for the youths in them. Yeah, young, brilliant minds, future in sight. Got the power to make change, make the world ignite. Let nobody say you can't achieve. Your dreams are seeds, sow and just watch them grow. But you gotta believe in the youth effect. We're raising up the youth effect. Can't hold us down. The youth effect, we breaking ground. The youth effect, they gonna hear us roar. Educate, we get the key, unlock the potential. A lesson every day, knowledge essential. Standing tall, walking proud, let your voice be heard. Unite together as one, spread the love with every word. The youth effect, we're raising up. The youth effect, can't hold us down. The youth effect, we breaking ground. The youth effect, they gonna hear us roar. Educate, we get the key, unlock the potential. A lesson every day, knowledge essential. Standing tall, walking proud, let your voice be heard. Unite together as one, spread the love with every word. The youth effect, we're raising up. The youth effect, can't hold us down. The youth effect, we breaking ground. The youth effect, they gonna hear us roar. Create, initiate, push through, no limits. Go ahead and live it up. Respect, positivity, you on your way. Break down walls, build bridges. Yeah.
Hi, and good evening, and it's another episode of The Youth Effect. Today is Monday, 10th of March, 19. I'm really losing it, 2025. And I thank you for being with us for another episode of The Youth Effect. We have a wonderful, wonderful show for you tonight, featuring the most beautiful and charming Miss Gabrielle Esprit, our teen youth, our teen queen, Dominica 2025. And Gabby is going to share with us her decision on going into pageantry and what's her hopes and missions and experience throughout her journey. Remember, you're looking at us on TDN Network, one on YouTube or on Instagram, on Facebook, on SBN Radio, SBE Radio, and you may be having other friends who you would like to share the information with. Please do so. And while we give you a minute to pass on the information for your friends and other people to come back on to listen to another young person, a youth voice in our mission here at the Youth Effect. I don't know what's happening with me today, but forgive me on that. The Youth Effect, produced by TDN Network. I want to thank them so much for allowing us to be a conduit for our youth, in advocating for our youth and encouraging them and in their empowerment and growth from adolescents to youth to adults, wholesome adults, helping us to bridge the generational gap so that we adults can also understand them and learn them and be their proteges in helping us to understand how to be better for them, with them, and by them. So without much ado, I'm going to welcome Miss Gabrielle Esprit and let her tell you her story. Welcome, Gabby.
Thank you for having me.
You are most welcome. I was very, very anxious and highly anticipated having you for a little while now. But now everything happens when it's supposed to happen. And let me congratulate you on winning the what they call it, auspicious award of Miss Teen Dominica 2025. How does it feel?
It feels amazing, and I am so excited to be an advocate for my culture now that I am Miss Teen Dominica 2025.
That's so awesome. I love to hear that. Could you give us a little brief of who you are? Exactly. Tell us more about you.
My name is Gabrielle Esprit. I am 14 years old. I would describe myself as outgoing, creative, talented, and intelligent. I enjoy designing, cooking, styling hair, and helping other people.
Ah, that's awesome. How do you like to help other people in what ways?
In any way I can at the moment. I don't have any specific way that's my favorite. I just like to reach out when I can.
Okay. Tell us about what made you decide to participate in Miss Teenage Pageant and what population you were representing.
I decided to participate in the teenage pageant first of all because in December of 2024 I won the Miss Noel pageant and Mr. Raymond Lawrence reached out to the commission of the Girl Guides because he decided that he wanted me to participate. And also I wanted to inspire young people around me to take any positive opportunity that comes their way because they never know where it will bring them.
Yeah, I love that you really have a positive energy about you in terms of speaking about want to inspire and be a peer mentor. Tell us more about that. What do you think that will take you further? Seeing that you've started that, you took up the challenge so that you could inspire others. How is that experience going to bring you inspiring others in as going forward?
Well, I would like to continue to show people that they can do whatever they put their mind to because I think that is something that is very important, believing in yourself. And I would just like to be proof that once you believe in yourself and you put in hard work and you put in effort, then you will be able to do anything.
That's good. And in put in the hard work. Tell us about the hard work that you put in to become Miss Teen. Tell us about the journey.
Well, it was truly an amazing journey. I experienced a lot of self development. I met a lot of new people, which is something that I love to do. I love to interact with other people. And it was tiring at times and it was challenging of course because it's a lot to do. You have a lot to do to prepare. It took a lot of late nights, but with determination and with support from the people around me, I was able to reach to where I am today.
Okay, tell me about your village.
Well, my village is Maho. I am from Maho, and it is known as a city that never sleeps. We are a vibrant village that love to enjoy ourselves. We are known for our sensei and for our buyola pokabwit, but also our bells combo. And it is just a community that is fun and somewhere that I feel that everybody should visit.
And that is where your girl guys group is
Well, I
part
am
of.
part of the first Maho Girl Guides company, but there are other branches of it. So I was representing the Girl Guides Association on a whole.
And I no doubt noticed that their support came out in large numbers.
Yes, and I appreciate all the support from my family, my friends, from my school, my from the Girl Guides, and just from everybody around me. Because, as I said, without the support, I would have never reached to where I am today.
Good. It's always a good thing to when we see as the older people, older in brackets, younger generations taking up the mantle and seeing that how young you are in participating in the teenage pageant, taking up the culture, the whole thing of the culture, and recognizing that this is my culture and I want to continue it. Was there any surprising elements or aha moments for you during the experience culturally?
Not really. What do you mean by surprising moment?
Okay, well, some new experience, I should say. Okay, so
Well,
you
yes,
went.
of course, I had new experiences. I had to learn to dance. I had to learn to enjoy the music because before I wasn't much of a carnival goer. I enjoy my culture, but I wasn't big on the carnival, so I had to learn to enjoy it, and it has really taught through this journey. I've really learned a lot about my culture, and I want to encourage other young people to embody their culture because it's something that's truly beautiful, and you really wouldn't know that until you really experience it in full depth.
Could you pinpoint any particular experience that was at the height of everything for you?
Well, of course, the height was winning because then I knew that all my hard work paid off. All the late nights, all the practice, all the school I missed it paid off, and it paid off very well, and I was proud of myself, and the people around me were proud of me, and that was the height, of course, because
Of course. So you said that you came to appreciate carnival because you're never a carnival person. Can you explain to our viewers or listeners about the cultural significance of carnival to Dominica?
well, Carnival has been, we have been celebrating for Carnival for almost 200 years now. And Carnival is also known as Mass Dominique, which is a celebration of culture, connection, creativity, our costumes, our food, our cuisine, and of course, our pulsating beats like our bouillon, as I said, the lapokabwit, the kala slipso, and then, of course, the Dominicans that celebrate it. And I think that Dominican Carnival is something that everybody should get a chance to experience because it's much different than other people's carnivals, because we truly, it is something that we enjoy and we put a lot into.
Especially the free jumping on the streets. A lot of the other carnivals of the other islands are not like that. You must be in a band to be participate. And I know in some of the islands they don't have, the country is not shut down for 2 days straight for carnival like Dominica. So our carnival is really coming out to
Yes,
be
and it means a lot to us. It's a very important time for us. And I think the fact that you can come to Carnival and you don't even have to spend money. Maybe the most you'll have to do is buy some food or some drinks, or you can eat at home if that's your preference. So you don't have to be in a band. You can enjoy yourself freely without spending money to join one.
lovely. Yes, that is so much. People plan from the beginning, ending of one carnival as soon as Ash Wednesday is for the next carnival. All their shows, the outfits, everything is ready, and the budget is always planned to the T. Did you see a difference with the young people in carnival in terms of the number of young people who participated in the bands? What was it like on the parades and
Well, I feel like a lot of young people enjoyed Carnival this year because they got to see. I feel like a lot of people, especially that was supporting me, got to experience Carnival to a different extent because they actually came and watch the parade, and I think it was very enjoyable for them. And I just hope that they can continue enjoying it, but safely.
nice? Safe is really the important word there too. How do you or do you intend to do as an extension of this any special program with your peer group? You
A
know,
pro-
okay, so like
like a radio show.
no, like a radio show, something of your own, like a peer mentoring something is, like after some, okay, the queens normally say, oh, I'm going to use this.
Oh,
Yeah.
I want to go to from grade 6 to third form, and I would like to speak to them, and I would also like to educate them on carnival and also our other cultural events, to tell them to be interested in it and tell them why it should be important to them, because we have to remember, a tree with people without knowing their history and culture is like a tree without roots. So it's important that we keep our roots because Dominica is known as a culturally rich island, and we would like to uphold that name. So we need to introduce our youth to it so that they can send it to the next generation.
How long you believe that speaking thing will be?
What do you say?
Oh, someone asked, what do you see? How do you see yourself in 3 years from now?
Well, in 3 years, I will be starting college. I'm not sure what I want to major yet because I'm not quite sure what I want to do with my life yet. But that's okay because I'm only 14. And
Exactly.
as I said, I'm interested in many things, and maybe I would like to continue participating in pageants, and I would like to further my education. So that's where I see myself.
Yes, that was one of my questions going to ask you if you see yourself participating in the Miss Dominica pageant in the near future for you.
Yes, I do, and also I am interested in participating in the Miss Talented Teen pageant, which is a pageant that I believe is in St. Kitts
Okay.
during in December.
Okay. So, yeah, and that is all, is that all part of your teen role, or that is something else you decide to participate on a wider scale?
Something that I want to participate on a wilder scale. It's not something that I was required to do. It's something I'm interested in.
Okay. That's all those things are very inspiring for others. Were you ever a shy person? Did this help build your confidence? Tell us a little bit about the inner Gabby.
Yes, I used to be very shy in primary school, so that was part of the reason why I wanted to participate in pageants, and in my mind, I wanted to try Miss Teen in fourth form, but because of the opportunities that I took, I was able to participate when I was a little older, when I was a little younger, and I'm glad that I did. But honestly, wait, I
Because
completely lost my train of thought. What did you ask me?
no, you're
Oh,
answering
shy.
it. You're answering the question.
Yes, so yes, pageantry has helped me to come out of my shell,
Hmm.
and I that is why part of the reason why I was inspired to make young people take the positive opportunities that come to them because I used to be a very shy child and I have seen how this has developed me as a person, and I want to share it with other people so they can experience the same type of things even if it's not from pageantry.
That's very good because you speak very confidently. You
Thank
seem very poised, very princessy attributes. And as a teen queen, you'll be a role model for many young girls. So you know you're going to be looked at very, very closely. How do you feel about that aspect? Because more eyes are going to be on you now. How would that impact how you go further in terms of carrying yourself, reaching out to others?
Well, I will continue to be myself because I don't think personally that there's anything. If people want to judge, people always judge, and I feel like they can judge freely. I just know how to carry myself in the best way I can possibly, while continuing to be myself, continuing to enjoy my life, and I'm not going to let what people say define me.
That is so powerful because we know, especially on the social media platforms, how creators can take to heart the criticism from
Yeah.
comments and how we can destroy them. So
Yeah.
you seem very strong in terms of mindset, and you have to be very have a holistic attitude in life in terms of knowing who you are. And at such a young age, you seem to be very poised and confident in not allowing negative criticism to define you. And that is very, very important.
Well, it's not that negative comments don't trouble me, of course, because that is something somebody trying to break you down, somebody saying bad things about things that you work so hard for.
Yeah.
things that you spend time doing. Of course, it will break me down a little bit, but I always, well, not break me down. Of course, it will affect me,
Affect you,
but I
right?
let it break me down, and
Right.
I always try to stay positive and stay true to myself.
And as I say, that is important. And at such a young age, I keep on stressing that too, because at 14, that is the period of your life as an adolescent in understanding who you are as a person and being heavily influenced by outside voices. So having that with you at such a young age, I see a lot of positive things for you in your future. And of
Thank
course, I have to put it out there. It's family too. So of course, I keep on telling myself, don't say that, but it's all
you.
in the family, like that. So, what message would you like to convey to young persons who allow those criticisms? I would say criticisms because we know we can have positive and negative criticism, but
Yes.
especially on a negative end. What would you, as a peer mentor, say to lesser confident peers of yours on how to manage it?
Well, I say for positive criticism, I would want to tell them, don't take it as a bad thing, don't take it to heart. Use it as something to better yourself because the person did not mean it in a bad way. And for negative criticism, I would like to tell them to stay true to themselves because they know who they are, and people, I think that people that hate on you are people that are upset and jealous of you. So I don't think that you should ever let that get into your mind, make that turn you into a bad person, because then you're letting their comments define you, and I think that's something that you should never do.
Good stuff. And of course, you have a very supportive family,
Yes, I do.
and that helps. It shows in how you carry yourself. So you already told us, shared with us about where you want to take your pageantry, and you're not sure what you want to do in the future. Of course, as I say, 14 is young. Take your time. Don't let anyone explore. It's your period of time to explore many different careers and avenues. And if this one doesn't work, well, this work. All that is
Yeah.
in learning who you are and finding out what it is best in complement your personality and helping you to find a career or something that you're gonna be happy doing. Yes. In the meantime, how do you hope to figure out where you want to go in this big broad world?
Well, I just want to experience different things, and I feel like that is what will truly tell me what I want to do, because I want to do something that I enjoy, but something that also contributes to the community.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to experience different things, try new things, and I feel like that will lead me to where I want to be.
Lovely. Um, what about, I'm gonna go back now to the guiding movement in terms of where it's gonna take you and the experiences, because guiding is part of your experience and helping to shape you, right? Could you explain to us how guiding has helped you to become this confident person that we're seeing before us today?
Well, guiding teaches you a lot of new things, but also it helps you to learn how to deal with people. So I think that meeting new people and building great friendships in the people around me have brought me up as a person, because good people around you help you thrive, and that is how the guiding movement has supported me by teaching me new things and giving me a good community around me to thrive as a person.
Lovely. It also impacted on me how you played your flute. Is it a flute? Am I
Yes.
correct? Yes. For your talent. It was well put together, it was well executed, it was flawless. The message came out quite clearly. For those who did not see this performance, would you want to explain what the meaning was behind it?
Well, my performance was showing to break free from the chains of yesterday and the chains of tomorrow, to stop worrying about the future and the past and live in the moment, to seize the moment, as my platform says, seize the moment. Our time is now. Because I think that it's important to focus on what's happening today, because ultimately the heavenly Father will deal with happens tomorrow. So I think that people should focus on what they are doing right now, on the positive opportunities that are coming right now. And there's a saying that says, it doesn't matter how you fall, what challenges you face, it matters how you get back up. So that is a quote I really live by. That's my favorite quote, and it really says that you should never let your challenges define you, never let what has happened in the past define you, and I think that's very, very important.
Very important. Would you be willing to play a piece for us?
I don't have, well, my flute is broken at the moment and I had to
Okay.
order a new one, and
Okay.
I don't have video. I even a broken one, I don't have video with me right now.
That's perfectly fine. Um, we're gonna stop for a 10 minute, a few minutes break, and we want to remind our viewers and our listeners you're listening to Miss Gabrielle Esprit, who is our teen pageant princess, Dominica Carnival 2025, and you're listening to her on the Youth Effect, whether you're listening on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Roku, or streams. We'll see you in a few minutes. Stay tuned. Forward from our sponsors.
Get ready for an electrifying thriller. A fearless New York attorney takes on corrupt corporate giants fighting for the powerless. Can this seasoned attorney and his team take down a monstrous company and its powerful leader? What will be the final verdict? What price will our heroes pay? Find out as you turn the pages of The Trust by Sam George. Get your copy of The Trust today from Amazon.com.
A smart house run by a vengeful AI, a mute witness to an act of unspeakable evil. A breadfruit thief is haunted. A young man unwittingly creates a god. Giant crapos terrorize a community. A witch seeks revenge on her neighbors, and much more. The Piton Noir Writing Collective is thrilled to announce the release of the third book in their acclaimed anthology series, The Flying Crapo. Flying Crapo, Heroes and Monsters. Now available for purchase on Amazon.com. Get your copy today and embark on a journey filled with heroes, monsters, and the magic of the Caribbean.
Thank you for being with us on the Youth Effect tonight, Monday, March 10th. And we are listening to Miss Gabrielle Esprit, Miss Teen Dominica 2025, on her experience and her visions going forward. Hi, Gabby. We lost you here a bit. I think we lost Gabby for a minute. Okay, so we lost Gabby there for a minute, and she will be right back. But it shows us the importance of encouraging our children in participating in cultural events. It not only does things for them, help them to appreciate their culture and help them in their identity, form the identity of where they belong, who they are. Because especially as being adolescents, that is where their true sense of identity and belonging is being developed. Their network, who to trust, how to, as Miss Gabrielle mentioned earlier, understanding criticism helps also to build their character in how to take criticism and how to let those that doesn't really bother them pass by. Because a good point she made, and a lot of us has learned that you cannot let everything people say affect you. There are things people will say that will be sometimes negative criticism. We can take it on and spin it, put a positive spin on it, and say, okay, what can I take from those criticisms? What can I take from that and go forward? You know, so minusing all the impact it will have, because as she mentioned, things
What?
will bother us. It will bother us. Gabby, you're there? Your video is off. Okay.
Yes.
Alrighty. Welcome back. So I was just reiterating what you mentioned about the criticism and speaking to the importance of adults allowing their children to participate in cultural events, because that is what helping you with
Yes.
defining and your identity from the
Yes.
place where you belong to setting a foundation for you. What would you share with us adults in terms of things like that, cultural wise, parenting?
Well, for parents, I would like to share for parents to be patient with their children, because even if we are young still, it is not in the same time that you guys grew up in, and there are a lot more things that affect children nowadays, and they could be going through serious things, and all they need is support from the parents, but the parents take it as they're being rude. So I think that parents should just be more patient with their children. And also, to do with culture, I would like to tell parents to also let parents and adults in general to embrace their culture, and encourage the young people to around them to do the same. And lastly, as I said, my favorite quote is about the challenges. And I want them to know that it's not too late, no matter how old they are. They can still make a difference in their life because they are still here. There are still opportunities that will come their way. And I don't think that they should ever lose hope.
Good. Okay, I'm going to ask you to expound. Could you give us an example on parent daughter? Sometimes there can be a lot of strain between a parent and a daughter. You
What?
mentioned sometimes there can be a lot of strain or tension between daughters and mothers.
String?
Okay, strain,
Oh,
tension.
yeah.
Yeah, butting heads. You mentioned sometimes when the children speak to parents, they find they are rude. Could you, as a young person, how would you enc- what a little advice, because this whole platform for the youth effect is using you all as our mentors. What would you all like us to do to better our relationships? So let's say we're having this conversation and you share something with me and I say, oh, you're rude. How would you, as a young child, ask the parent to look at this from a different way other than just be patient? Give
Well,
me a breakdown.
I
Do you understand, or was it too much?
yes, I understand.
Okay.
I would ask. Well, me and my mommy also used to have a very strained relationship, but now we are very close, and I talk to her about everything, and there's no filter to our relationship anymore. So I would just say that she, first of all, as I said, more patient, but also she hears me out on my opinion, and she tries to look at it in my perspective, to how she would have felt when she was younger, also because, and she tries to understand always that we are in different times, because so the situations, even if she have may ex- may have experienced something similar, that no, it is very different because of devices, because of social norms, be- and because of social media on a whole. So I would just say that to have try to have positive conversations without breaking each other down. So speak about things that are happening. heartfelt conversations. Try to understand where both of you guys are coming from, and do not and parents do not use that as an opportunity to punish a child because of what they said to you, because to a certain extent that means they have trust in you, and they have they have opened up to you about how they feel, and to get punished for something like that, they would not want to do it again, and that is how the relationship becomes strained.
That was the most beautiful and deep and thoughtful response ever, because we really have to understand that we're operating in a different realm totally, and sometimes we don't get it. So that was really beautiful in terms of breaking it down. You said she listens, she sees you, she hears you, understands it from your perspective, as well as do not use it as an opportunity for punishment, but for building trust. And that is a big building block in relationships.
Yes.
Because if one thing I have understood, if you as a child cannot trust your parent, then you're gonna go outside and find it, and most times you end up in trouble.
In my opinion, that I think that strict parents raise sneaky children, because when parents are strict, when parents do not give children the opportunity to express themselves at home, they go and do it elsewhere, they go and confine in other people, and that is what ends up getting them into trouble.
So you like firm but a little bit flexible.
I think being firm with your child is important, because you still need your child to respect you, but I don't think you should take away opportunities from them or punish them unnecessarily, because sometimes I think that some parents go too far with their punishments, with their maybe even their boundaries, because sometimes the child doesn't even know you as a person. And
That's very true. And when you say punish a little less, I for me personally, I like discipline as opposed to punishment.
what
Because sorry,
what do you mean by discipline?
so discipline is guiding. Okay, yes, I appreciate you shared that with me, but you have to understand there are consequences to behavior. So you
Yes.
still sit down and have a conversation with it and explain that, yeah, there's consequences to the behavior, and you have to be willing to accept those consequences. Punishment is very, as you said, it to me carries a lot of negative connotation. And when you say I'm punishing you as opposed to discipline, discipline is helping you to correct the bad mistake or helping to identify the consequences. But just punishing children, or beating them, or giving them so much I want, for the lack of a better word that's coming to me right now, but you can punish children, and these children can learn how to tolerate the punishment without learning anything. What did I do wrong? Okay, I know you're going to beat me, so go ahead, beat me. I wouldn't cry. I'll sit there. I'll take my punishment.
Yes,
um
because
I will do.
honestly,
Go ahead.
punish the way some people punish their children does not help to build them as a person, build character, does not help
That's
them
right.
become better. So I think it is important that instead of punishing, maybe let's say maybe add on, let's say, punishment to a certain extent, like if you make them wash dishes or something. But I think that it's more important to talk the child through what they did wrong, and ask them why they did it, so you can understand from their perspective, and
Right.
teach them a lesson so they'll understand, oh, I really did such a bad thing, and I won't do it again, because now I understand how it affects other
That's
people,
correct.
how it
Right.
will affect me.
So they understand, you understand the why of what. So the next time you get yourself in a same situation, you can process it now, understanding what's going to happen, what is in the best interest for you. Because discipline should always be in the best interest of the person being disciplined or corrected. You agree with that?
Yes, I agree. I
Okay. Alright. What other? Okay, so you shared something with us as adults. What would you like to share with your peers when it comes now into building trust with their parents? How did you overcome that?
Well, I want to share with my peers to still remember that you need to respect your parents. And one thing that from actually, this is something that I have realized through social media. Social media can do good things and bad things. So I realized from social media that we always have to remember that even our moms live once. They have only lived once. They have only experienced life once. This is their first time living. And so as my mommy's first child, I have really started to understand that and realize that me giving her problems is just going to make it worse for me and for her. So also be patient with your parent because they can be going through things just like you. Because they're an adult doesn't mean they are immune to those things.
I spot on. No
Mhm.
words for that. That was just so spot on, because nothing comes with a manual, and even though we have kids, we only have a 15-year-old once. Even though we may have more than one child, but you're a different child than your sister.
Exactly.
So the experiences, we still
The
have to
experience is
tailor.
always new. Yes.
Experience is always new. And we learn quite a lot from you all as well, in terms of our own character building, because we never stop growing and we never stop learning. What was the bond like between your mom and you, or your dad and you, different or grown in that experience that you just had?
Through Misty,
Yes, Miss Teen.
I don't think it's really changed.
No? But I know they were very, very proud of you. Could you tell us that defining moment when they said, "I know what Miss Teenage Pageant 2025 is"?
How I felt?
Yes, explain that to us.
I
Carry
was
us
blank.
through. Sorry,
I
go.
I was blank. I wasn't. I don't know. I still haven't gotten over the fact that I've won. It's just so crazy.
Yeah. It was kind of a shocking moment, yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. It was, you looked absolutely stunning
Thank
and
you.
really, really beautiful. And the whole show was so well put together. I noticed though it was only four persons, four young women who participated in the show. Could you give me a little background on why you think it was that, or how could you have encouraged other people, other young persons to participate? Or
I don't think that it was a lack of encouragement. I think a lot of people do not have faith in themselves to be able to do these things. That's why I believe so strongly in the take all the good opportunities that come towards you. I don't think it was because of the association. I just think that, and also it takes a lot to put yourself out there to deal with the judgment, to deal with the good times and the bad times, and it takes a lot out of you as a person.
yes, it does. It really, really does. Just standing up in front of a big crowd
Yes,
can make you just go
because
blank.
it's a real thing.
Yes, it is a real thing. Um, could you share with us though? I know you said that you miss a lot of school and everything, and has it taught you better how to balance things in life?
Yes, that is one of the things that I learned a lot about time management and having a proper schedule, because without that, I don't know how I would have been able to stay on top of my work.
Yeah, and you're in a very critical year in school,
Yeah.
aren't you?
Six
Yes. Mm.
form is when you start to prepare for CSEC.
Could you tell us what CSEC is? Could you share with us what CSEC is?
Well, it's an examination to examine all that you've done during your high school years.
Yeah. When I was in school, it was we had third form. What was a you said third form, right? You're in third form. it was where you have the most weight of subjects, right? And then in fourth form was that, yeah. How many subjects courses that you carry right now?
11.
Yeah, that's a very heavy load. Yeah, and what do you see yourself going in choosing to start in the next school year?
I'm not sure. I have to sit down and discuss it with my mommy because as I said, I'm interested in a lot of things, but I can't do everything. A sup- I'm not Superman, so I have to really sit down
Definitely.
and decide what I truly want to do to in my C-Sec and what I'm really interested in.
Good. And it's when I'm only talking for myself here. When we were at in our years having to choose, at that time we thought, well, I felt, but the whole society was like, this is the finding time of your life where you have to choose for what you want to do for the rest of your life. Not true. I one thing I have learned that the exams are definitely important, but doesn't define where you're gonna be in the next
Yes.
years, because sometimes you are 20 and you're not sure where you want to be yet. So my suggestion for any young persons now doing these exams is choose the ones that you are much better than in any of the others that you excel in, that comes easy to you. It's kind of like a strategy to make sure that you pass with high colors, because if you're more interested in a subject, you're going to spend more attention and more time in it.
When you enjoy,
Yes.
it's easier.
Yes. But a lot of parents, as a lot of us times as parents, we put pressure on children to do what we want them to do, because science subjects was very in there, you know. But now you all have such a wider
Right.
choice. Yes, a bigger, wider variety of things to do. I'm sure you and your mommy will make them and the daddy together as a unit. You will make the best decision going forward for yourself. I know you have school tomorrow, so I'm gonna wrap up with you. Would you give us three things you would like to share for you, in addition to all what you shared with us earlier on? What are three pointers you like to share with your peers?
With who?
With your peers, your friends, people your age group.
Is it okay if I restate something? If I
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
So my first thing is not letting challenges define you. Second is to always believe in yourself. And third is to be careful, and keep your trust in your parents. Be careful on social media. Be careful when you're enjoying yourself, even if it's in carnival, because anything can happen. Just stay careful, stay in contact with your parents, and and try to make a good relationship with your parents, because even if they may seem, let's say, like they're picking on you now, they just want the best for you. So trust them, because they don't want bad things for you, they want you to excel in life.
Lovely, lovely. And yes, you can also reiterate the things for the adults as well. Give it to us in three pointers.
Okay, for the adults, I want them to know that it's never too late to do something different with your life, or to do something new. Second, I would like to tell them to be patient with their children. And third, I would like to tell them to believe in themselves, and to be the best person they can be.
Yes, that is from a young ambassador's voice to our ears. We want to thank you so much, Gabrielle, Miss Teen Dominica 2025, for taking time out from your schedule to share with us. Um, it meant a lot to us to have you here with us to share that and to understand a little bit more insight as to what encourages young women like yourself to participate in culture. to understand the importance of your culture to you and helping you to, as part of your foundation in your identity as a proud young Dominican lady. Not the Dominican Republic, as we have to always say, but Dominica. I wish you all the best in your endeavors and in your studies, and you go on winning that pageant in. Could you tell us again so we know where it's at?
Well, I'm not quite sure if I'm going to participate yet. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to participate yet, but it's the Miss Talented Teen pageant in December.
In December. So if you are participating, make sure to give us a sound note. We may bring you back on for us to share about it. So remember, you are watching Miss Gabrielle Esprit on the Youth Effect, whether you're looking at us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Roku, or streaming with us. Okay, so thank you so much, Gabby, and you have a good night and a wonderful, wonderful, blessed, and highly favored life. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for having me. Thank you.
You are most welcome. Have a good one.
You too.
Thank you, love. Okay. Yes, and you heard it with Miss Gabrielle Esprit on her experience and her journey as Miss Teen Dominica. I wanted to play for you part of her show, but we're having some technical difficulties. So go on to the Youth Effect Facebook page. We'll have a little bit there for you. You can also check out her Facebook page on YouTube, the Gabrielle Esprit teen her journey towards the winning the pageant. And it is so much exposure for young people in, as we mentioned earlier, in terms of defining themselves, maybe not in pageantry, but in some other thing where we can support them as parents in exploring their options, in opportunities. Not because a child wants to explore something doesn't mean that is going to be what they're going to do. Sometimes as parents, we have to allow them to explore. But what is best than you being next to them in exploring? You may not want them to do something because you might be afraid. Of course, as parents, we get scared of our children being hurt. But don't you think it would be a very good experience for them to experience it, to go through it, but having you there with them to guide them through it? Sometimes it may not be as bad as we thought it was. Do the research, other than just say no. Do the research, talk to people who have been exposed into that area before. Look at your child's personality. How can it benefit them? How can it help guide them and build their character? And what opportunities it may lead to for that young person. Sometimes the answer is not just a straight no. There are times we have to say no, of course. But there are times you have to say, okay, let us sit down and have a conversation. As Gabrielle mentioned, communication, trust. And that is how, especially in this environment we have today, in all what is posted on social media, so many things our young children go through being exposed to social media that they don't share with us. They may share with a friend because they might feel that if I say that to mommy or if I share it with daddy, they might think this is who I am. You'll be surprised what having conversations would mean to your children. And there is where you're going to build trust, doing, getting involved in their activities, getting involved in their experiences, sharing that builds a bond like no other. So try that. That's your challenge. That's your challenge in going forward in terms of Gabrielle left this with us in terms of building challenges and going through obstacles, going through challenges together. How she overcame that and she and her mom have a good bond together. And she gave us a very, very good example of how that is done. A lot of us, I know one of the things for me I have to work on is listening. My daughters always tell me, Mommy, you're too quick, where I talk too fast because I know better. So if we know better, let us do better. In building communication and trust with our children, we listen. We don't listen with the intent to answer. You cannot answer if you do not understand the whole thing. So let us vow to ourselves and build a pact where we're going to listen to everything first. Ask if you want to ask a question for clarity, ask the questions for clarity, and then you answer. Sometimes you don't have an answer, and that's okay. You can always tell your child, can I get back to you on this one? You'll be surprised how understanding and how open your children are. You'll be surprised how willing they are just to engage you in a conversation. I have a friend whose daughter is very shy, and how they had to build, how they are building on that conversation is through texting. So the daughter goes into her room and she texts the mom what she would like to say because she hasn't yet built that confidence in herself. Or sometimes the child may just be averse to hearing no, rejection, because this is very, very, very real. Even us as adults have to grow through being able to be open to hearing the word no, set other people's boundaries. So texting is a good way that we can go. If I don't know how to say something to my daughters too, or if I have to apologize sometimes talking too much doesn't bring it across as well as texting it. That is their medium. That is what they know. That is what they have embraced. So use that to reach them. Use what they know best to reach them, rather than telling them sometimes, oh, you're always on the phone. Well, that's what they have. Let us do something together while on the phone. And always remember as well that it's experiences that build bonds, things that we do together. A movie night, a game night, maybe just going to the beach, or if you don't have a beach anywhere, do something together. At first, the relationship may be strained, but doing more things together, setting firm boundaries, having one or two communication, or just sitting in each other's presence, saying nothing sometimes works. It's presence. It's being physically present there with and for your children. Not being there and while you all are watching something, you're on your phone, texting when it's supposed to be me time. Sometimes I'm guilty of that too. But my daughter say, you know, do the little things to bring me back in. So be present. There's a difference from being present and having presence. Okay? So tonight's episode was really about character building, exposing our children to cultural activities so that it can also help them in understanding who they are, in bringing their identity together, building a foundation so no matter where they go, they know who they are. And leaping from a board of not knowing who you are is a dangerous thing, especially in how this world is going, in all the political chaos we have in this world today. Our children need to understand on themselves so that they be grounded in going forward, grounded in making the littlest decisions for themselves. Here's the difference between punishment and discipline. So you know what? I couldn't exactly give the definition of punishment as I want it in my head. So let me read it out now. There are different perspectives to what punishment does. Okay? What do you think is the purpose of punishment? Or what's the form of punishment? So we're going to define punishment, which is really a penalty, okay, a penalty or sanction for wrongdoing, for a crime or some offense. It's a negative consequence or retribution intended to correct or deter undesired behavior. That's the difference. It's a negative consequence. So sometimes, okay, so yes, you have to go and wash, because you did this, you're going to wash the dishes for the whole week. What we're doing, we are making now the child hate doing chores. Whereas if we're disciplining, discipline gives a much more favorable or positive concept of the behavior. So we did, I did something wrong. For doing this, you understand, help the child understand what the behavior caused, the impact the behavior had, or what it will have in the future, and what is the consequence of it. So in light of you doing that now, the consequence of that, to help you correct the behavior, you're going to have to do some dishes for the week. You probably have 2 days, but because you do this, you have to understand there are consequences to negative behavior, negative attitudes. All right. So we can have rehabilitative punishment, which what we do in the when juvenile offenders and everybody else, the this is supposed to be prison rehabilitative, but this again is a whole new conversation. And but our discipline, showing them the consequences, will help them be a deterrent to that same kind of behavior in the future. So that is why I prefer to say discipline as opposed to punishment, because children can get used to being punished. When I was growing up, I knew of this person in my neighborhood that used to punish so badly it became abuse, beating with an electric wire. Or you have to go feed the animals in all kind of weather or conditions. This was abuse. So punishment, there is a thin line to correcting bad behavior to abuse. We may think we're not abusing, but it can be abuse. And children may get, you may say, how many times I've punished you for that and you're still doing the same thing? It's because they did not understand what the consequences are, really how it's going to impact them in the future, or did not understand the why they should not do it. Children need a why. Even us as adults, we need a why to understand what we should and what we shouldn't do. Even for our children, why we should and shouldn't talk to our children this way, because children are people first. Always say that. Children are people first, and we should respect them in that light. Treat them as people. Explain. If you would not treat a stranger a certain way, then you do not treat your child that way. You did not treat the children or wronged you that way. All right. So listen, build trust, build bonds, share time, be present in terms of giving them your presence in building, and help your children identify opportunities for growth, cultural involvement, which builds foundation for identity and purpose, which helps them build a level of confidence in making decisions for themselves and where they want to see themselves in the future. Okay? But if we do not expose them to different experiences, we wouldn't know what they want to do or what they wouldn't want to do. For example, little things as getting them involved in extracurricular activities. Some may start today and tomorrow they say, I don't want to go back there. That's okay. They know they do not like that. But if you tell them, I'm not putting you in anything else, because every time you put something, you change your mind. But that is what it's all about. That's how they learn who they are, and that's how they grow. So allow them. Have things there for them to explore: art, creativity, building things, growing things. Get them in the garden, teach them how to sew, because that is not in the schools anymore. If you kind of do it, then hey, here's something we can learn how to do together. Maybe knit. I learned how to crochet, I learned how to knit, I learned how to um, do macrame. I cannot remember all of it right now, but I was exposed to the experiences. So expose your children. Ask them, push them. Do you want to join this? Do you want to do this? Okay, you may not want to do it, but could you just try it for a week? They may like it. Who knows? Because sometimes you have to propose something because it may never be on their radar. Give them the option. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, what do you think about trying it? Just try it. If you don't want to do it, that's okay. But if you don't try it, don't knock it before you try it, as they normally say. Don't knock it before you try it. But at the same time, don't force them to do something because you wanted to do that and you did not get the opportunity to do it. Okay? We cannot live our lives through our children. They have their own lives to live. Your opportunity passed, then, but you still at that age where you can embrace new experiences in your life. We're never too old until we're down in the grave. Okay? So you expose yourself to new experiences, to new learning opportunities to help you be that role model for your children as well, to see that you are opening your mind and still growing, because we're still growing in everything that we do. Okay? So remember, I am Kathy Robinson, your host on the Youth Effect every Monday nights at 8:30. And you are looking at us through YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Roku. Excuse me, I am extremely stuffy tonight, and I know I was going all over because of that. All right. And you might be also streaming on SBE Radio, Canada. And we want to thank you for being true patriots with us every Monday night, watching us, sharing it with your friends, and you can also send us email at the youth effect 767 at gmail.com. That's the youth effect 767 at gmail.com. I am Kathy Robinson and I'm your host. Tonight we had a most wonderful, beautiful, charismatic young woman in the person of Miss Gabrielle Esprit. She was our Dominica, Commonwealth of Dominica, that's the island between Martinique and Guadeloupe, smack center of the Caribbean. All right, go check it out. It's called the Nature Isle of the Caribbean. The carnival season is in the early part of the year, right before the Christian celebration of Ash Wednesday. The Monday and Tuesday are the highlight of the carnival season, where there are parades on the street and parading of the all the winners as well of the contest. We have calypso, Miss the Queen competition, Miss Teen pageant, and there are band competitions, parade of the bands, and Moko Lapu Cabaret, which is a form of traditional music. Steel pan, well, we do not have steel pan as we used to have it when we were younger, but steel pan is a cultural thing that is coming back, and there are players now in the schools, and hopefully it will make a comeback that will be purely steel pan on the road again. I remember when I was younger, it is a pure steel pan. It was called Fanta Pan at the time. A full orchestra of with steel pan on the road Monday and Tuesday, playing for persons who random jump up in the streets until 10 o'clock at night. And that is what people love about our Dominica Carnival. It gives them a difference to express themselves, and also, but however I want to emphasize that in all of this carnival and excitement, please remember that in any festival that you participate in, protect yourself, be safe, watch your drinks, cover your drinks, don't take anything from people you do not know, be with people who you feel safe with, Be with people who will protect you. Stay away from weapons and fights, and because at that time people's tempers can also be high, so stay away from antagonistic situations that will get you into problems. All right, go out with a mind to enjoy yourself freely, safely, and in a holistic manner. Okay, so this is our show for tonight. I want to thank you for being with us. Look up when it's Dominica's Carnival again for next year. It's already been put out there. But if you're not sure, remember, look for the Ash Wednesday. Count 2 days. That will be the Carnival in the streets, and then add a month for 2. But the Calypso is going to start again right back in November and December. All right? We get the all Calypsos about social commentary playing out for us. I wish you all the best. I have another wonderful program for you next week. Remember, you are looking at the Youth Effect. I am Kathy Robinson, your host. Remember, you can always send positive criticism for me, how I could better myself in presenting things to you, as well as what would you like to hear. If you know of a up-and-coming teen or someone who would like to share their story, because we all have stories, feel free to give us a suggestion at the Youth Effect 767 at gmail.com. Go on the Youth Effect Facebook page, subscribe to our Facebook page, and like our posts as well. All right. So thank you so much. See you again next week on the Youth Effect. Have an awesome, awesome week. Good night.
The youth effect, y'all hold us down. The youth effect, we breaking ground. The youth effect, they gonna hear us roar. The youth effect, we're raising up. The youth effect, y'all hold us down. The youth effect, we breaking ground. The youth effect, they gonna hear us roar. They gon' hear us roar. Jump, 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 jump. They gon' hear us roar. Jump, jump.